It's the big tech announcement of the week. Sort of about a year ago, Anthropic launched Claude Code. And Claude Code was, an experiment done over at Anthropic. At the time, you already had some great AI-powered development environments, especially things like Cursor. And Anthropic wanted to try something new, which is really interesting. It was this idea of Claude Code. And it was built as an agentic coding platform to help coders use Anthropic's AI models to build new apps. And it was counterintuitive to do it in the way they did it. Why not code in an IDE where you can see the code? For those the listeners that are not developers, I mean, traditionally when you make software, you have what's called a sort of an integrated development environment where you can see the code you're writing, you can have multiple windows open, you can execute some things, you can run some tests, you can sort of have a bit of a command console to everything you're doing in a sort of semi-visual way. Whereas Claude Code is not that. It's a command line app. It's a command line interface, and you log in and you sort of a very old style chat interface. You just chat with Claude Code and you tell it what to do and it'll go off and do stuff. But of course, the seminal insight there was that because the coding agents are getting so good, we are now coding in a new way. It's no longer about every developer seeing every line of code that they're writing and having to assess everything. We can actually send the agents off to do stuff, sometimes a lot of stuff. And then rather than returning a few lines of code, they'll return the finished product, or at least a version of it. So it solves problems in a way that nobody had really seen before, and it grew like wildfire last year. And Boris Cherny, who was the creator of Claude Code, he was surprised after he released it because he walked through the halls of Anthropic and he saw that not only were the developers using Claude Code for coding things, but many other colleagues were too. The data scientists were using it for data sciencey things, and the marketing people were using it for marketing things. And it turns out that this whole agentic harness it gives you of being able to instruct the AI and give it some parameters, some objectives, and then send it off agentically to work for seconds or minutes or maybe even hours pursuing a project or an idea is really, really powerful. Now today, many people like me use Claude Code for everything, right? Whether it's processing emails or analyzing decks or kind of synthesizing information, because it can integrate to everything via another Anthropic invention, this model context protocol. And so you can fetch data, you can manipulate data, you can work with data, and it's just really, really powerful. And so Cherny and his team, they thought, well, seeing as we have all these knowledge workers using Claude Code, why don't we build a version for them? And they did, and it was released this week, and that's CoWork. And the powerful thing here is it was built entirely by Claude Code. Cherny said it took 10 days.
That's amazing.
Pretty much all of the code was AI written. I mean, it blows my mind in so many ways. We saw kind of last year, just end of November, Opus 4.5, Anthropic's flagship model came out, and it's the first one to reach more than 4 hours on the meta model, meaning that about 50% of the time you can send it off to do a task that a developer would normally take 4 hours to do, and about 50% of the time it'll get it right. So think about this, sort of half a workday's work completed agentically. It's very special. So Claude Code Work, what is it? It connects to your Asana, connects to your Notion, it connects to your emails, it connects to your local files. And so you can ask it to analyze a stack of decks and pull together an analysis of that and put it into Notion. So it's like having an assistant on hand, and it's really cool. Now, what it says is this. It's still early, okay? They built it in 10 days. They've just released it. It's
impressive,
beta alpha territory.
But it's working.
It's still quite buggy. It works most of the time, but it is still quite buggy. Another question is, I'm not sure how the Venn diagram of users look. The question now is, are the users that will use, kind of the power users, are they going to be happier using Claude Code? Because Claude CoWork has got more of a harness. You sit in a virtual machine, you're a little more sandboxed in. Whereas Claude Code, it's like, give me all the weapons, right? Just upgrade me to superpower max mode. So it's possible that users that would be intimidated by the command line will find this more attractive. And this is what we're going to be seeing over the coming weeks. I mean, everybody's raving about it now, and it certainly has a lot of potential. And if it does take off in the way we think it could become the application of 2026.
Anyone got any thoughts? Anyone used it? Andrew Lomax, have you been using CoWork? No?
Not yet. Mads, so what's been the single most useful thing that it's done? Apart from the nice things you said, like, is there the one powerful thing that you've seen so far?
I'll talk to you about how I use Claude Code today, which I use all the time. And that is, as I said, it's to process emails, it's to manage the backlog of projects, it's to integrate information, it's to do research, right? It's, come up with a topic, pair through all of this information, read these reports, summarize that in a document. It's just working with knowledge becomes a completely different experience. And that's the experience that Anthropic now is porting to CoWork.
The only main difference is that it's not a terminal. It's chat. So CoWork is very skewed to the layperson who can get all of the power of Claude Code in a much cuter interface that they can interplay with. Is that right, Mads? I mean, that's how I've been using it.
It's also running in a virtual machine.
Right. Okay.
So you are running in a sandbox. It is a more protected environment than Claude Code.
Okay. I didn't appreciate that. I mean, I just loved the way it was just so much easier to use. But then I'm more of a lay body than you are, Mads.
No, 100%. And look, here's the thing: if CoWork captures users like Dan, frankly, like you, right? Then you're seeing, a massive new market opportunity opening
I won't
up.
take that in any pejorative sense, Mads. I'll take that in the positive, that we are expanding to the very smart other people who don't think in binary like your machine code like you do, my good man.